Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's Alyssa Corum here. I am joined by Ken Shreve, and on today's show, we're going to go over the action for the major indexes. A pretty interesting day, and also some pretty compelling action underneath the surface. Some nice strength in a number of tech stocks.
Yes, indeed. We're going to take a look at a breakout attempt for Twilio. Also take a look at Twitter, which surged along with Snap shares today, and finally take a look at AMD, which is still holding up pretty well after a recent breakout.
That's right. Well, looking at the Nasdaq here, actually this is the S&P 500. Hold that thought. The Nasdaq gained about 0.5% for the day. So we saw this pretty weak open after a session yesterday that caused a bit of damage to a number of growth stocks, but we had this strong close. So some really good strength out of the Nasdaq today and finding some nice support at the 10-day. What are your thoughts?
It was a classic distribution day for the Nasdaq on Wednesday. It fell 1.9%. You can see volume rose sharply from the prior session. So there was definitely some institutional selling in the market, but Nasdaq closed right at its 10-day moving average. It fell about 1% in the morning, so it looked like the selling was really going to, pick up the pace. But Nasdaq showed once again that buyers are still around. It closed up near its session high today, along with the S&P 500 and Dow. So I think the Nasdaq fired a warning shot yesterday, but listen, we're still in a confirmed uptrend, and we're going to need to see a lot more signs of institutional selling, not only in the indexes but in leading growth stocks as well, to shift our market outlook. But so far, we're still in a confirmed uptrend.
That's right. And you know what's interesting to me, Ken, is we're obviously in a very different market right now than we were in April and May and June. But it was a market that was characterized by a power trend, and we had some nice upside reversals at or near the 21-day line. So could we be seeing a market that was similar to the strong market that we saw over the spring and summer? We'll have to see. But if the action like this can continue, then it sounds like we're on the right track.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the market is still hoping for a stimulus deal before the end of the year. We'll see if that happens. I think the market is expecting that. And of course, the FDA advisory panel is meeting right now. And, we should get a decision today about whether or not the Pfizer vaccine is going to start to be distributed in the U.S. Tomorrow.
All right, well, let's take a look at some individual stocks. Kicking things off with Twilio, TWLO. A strong session today. This is a stock that we've been keeping pretty close tabs on, Ken, as it has formed this handle on the cup base here. So a 7% gain today in above average volume. What's not to like?
Yeah, definitely. It actually, the buy point here was 333.72, and it closed just a little bit below that buy point, but it did manage to close up near its session high. So I know Twilio bulls are going to want to see some follow through tomorrow, but it closed just below the buy point. Volume picked up nicely from Wednesday. This is definitely one of the top performers in the enterprise software space, and market is still serving up technical breakouts, which is good to see.
All right, and next on our list, we have Twitter, a name that we haven't talked about quite as much on this show, but it's had a decent year. We did have a gap down on that quarterly earnings report, but Twitter up on some interesting news today, Ken, gaining about 8.5%. What was going on there?
Well, so they are going to open up their tweets to Snapchat. Okay, that's the photo sharing service, and this is a first for Twitter, and it's really going to allow. I think the hope for Twitter is that it's going to boost engagement and hopefully deliver ultimately more users to its platform, and same for Snap. So this seems to be a mutually beneficial arrangement. Twitter is gonna, you can share tweets on Snap, and this is a bid to get more users, and Snap also rallied powerfully on the news as well.
Yeah, so we have this nice move off of the 50-day moving average. Do you think the action today would have put Twitter in that actionable camp? And what are some of the flaws or the concerns that investors might have when they're analyzing Twitter's fundamentals and the chart action?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some people were probably, definitely were in buying Twitter today as they were Snap, and Snap is definitely a leader among the two. What we can do is look at the weekly chart for Twitter though and see, even though it's not a great looking base, it is a base. It's you can see the left side formed in one harsh down week, so it's not very symmetrical. You've got several up weeks in a row for Twitter, so technically it qualifies as a cup base, and cup bases have delivered plenty of breakouts in recent years, but it's not a great looking base by any means. But look at its relative strength line starting to get up closer to highs, and I think the market cheered this news. A lot of people been wondering what took Twitter so long to do it, so they're opening up their tweets to Snap, and they also have plans to do it on Instagram too. So this is all to boost engagement and hopefully deliver more help with user growth going forward.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, it looks like there is expected to be a bit of a turnaround in that bottom line growth after some quarters of a bit of a hiccup there. So we'll have to see if this can fuel that growth, as you were saying, Ken. And last but not least, AMD in the chip space. We have seen as of late this stock looking stronger than group here and leader NVIDIA. And it looks like it held up nicely today, came down towards this double bottom buy point, but found support there, level that also coincides with the 21-day.
Yeah, this is still in buy range. So people looking to own a really solid semiconductor stock. I mean, you still have an actionable name here in the semiconductor group. I mentioned, Nvidia has been it's been kind of tough going for that stock. So Advanced Micro Devices has sort of taken over the leadership baton here. 2 straight down days, and then the stock reverses higher today. It still has a very healthy relative strength line, and again, we're just working off that 88.72 pivot at 91.66. The train has not left the station here, so this one still looks good. And again, we had a warning shot fired by the Nasdaq yesterday, but it was only the second distribution day for the index. So we're still in a confirmed uptrend, and new buys should be treated very, very cautiously. But this one is still in buy range.
Well, some wise words there, Ken, about treating new buys cautiously. And for more words of wisdom from Ken and the rest of the team, make sure you're checking out IBD Live every morning, our daily morning live stream, of course, where our experts are sharing their screens, talking about actionable stocks, portfolio tips, and more. We're covering it all, market conditions. So it'll be interesting to update everyone as well, more in depth tomorrow morning on that front. And we have a webinar that we're promoting coming up on Tuesday the 15th with Mark Minervini and David Ryan, two investing champions. We hope you check that out, investors.com/webinar for all the details. Thanks so much, Ken, for that spot on analysis, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow.